Hi! Within this lecture, we're going to start working on variables. So, if you haven't heard the term variables before, you're gonna learn it because you're going to need it in every kind of programming language that you will ever learn from this point on. Okay? So, why do we need variables and what are variables anyhow? So it's spelled like this, variables, and beware of the two slashes that I have put over here in order to take a note. You can do the same thing as well. And as you can see, I cannot write like this. I'll get an error because it's not a word, it's not a command, it's not a code. It's just a command when you put two slashes in front of it. Okay? So what is a variable? It's kind of an object to save values. For example, remember we have done something like this. We have done 5 multiplied by 2, I believe. Now I'm doing 10 plus 20, or 10 multiplied by 20, and we get 200 out of it, right? So maybe I want to store those values in variables, in some objects. So why do we want that? For example, we may want to use it more than once, or maybe we don't even know what the number that we're going to be multiplying is going to be. Like, for example, the age of the user. So suppose that age of the user is 20, and I'm going to multiply the age of the user by 10. So I can create a variable like this. So this variable is an integer type. So of course there are multiple types of variables, and this is an integer. Integer means a whole number. It's a number, okay? It doesn't have a decimal. It's just a number like 1 or 2 or 5 or 20. So in order to create a variable, all you have to do is just write int, or the type of the variable, and the name of the variable. Okay, I could have called this anything, not only age, but I couldn't have changed that if I wanted to create an integer. And then with an equal sign, you just give the value. For example, once I do that, I can just delete the 20, and I can write age over here. And Android Studio will know to multiply 10 by 20 when I run this. As you can see, we still get the 200 out of this equation because age now represents 20. Now I can use age in any other line as well. Like I can divide the age by 5. I will get 4. So as you can see, once I define a variable, I can use it in multiple places. So it's an advantage. And maybe I'm getting this value from internet. Maybe I'm getting this value from user via text field or something. So let me create something like x is 5, y is 10. Okay, and let's try to do y divided by x. So can I do that? Of course I can. As you can see, we still have the result of 2 because I'm dividing 10 by 5 over here. So let me try to do that. 11 divided by 5. What will I get? I still get 2. So it's a little bit odd, do you think? Because 11 divided by 5 is not a whole number. So let me do this with calculator. If I divide 11 by 5, I will get 2.2. I should get that in here as well, right? But remember what I said about integer. Integer is a whole number. It doesn't have any decimals. So when I divide an integer by integer, exactly what's going to happen is to create another integer, right? So if I want to get something with decimals, then I would work with double or float. So these are variables as well. Like I can just say something like double z is equal to 5.0. So this is still 5, but with 0.0, okay? So let me create another like 11.0. So these are numbers as well, and these are 11 and 5 as well. But rather than just creating them like integers, I have created them as doubles. So now if I divide a by z, what will I get as a result? So let me try it and see. Let me run it from here, or right clicking to the main, and as you can see we have 2.2 because the result of this equation is also a double. I'm actually dividing a double by double and I'm getting the decimals like this. So you will come across in situations where you will need to work on doubles because you will need some kind of decimals, but also you will come across with situations where you will need to work with integers because the result or the number itself would have to be integers or longs, okay? And these are all just numbers, right? So maybe you get confused at this, what is a long, what is an float. So let me show you. As you can see, if you can just search for int float double java, you will come across with a table like this. So we have these number types in Java like integers, long, float, doubles, okay? And these are all just numbers, but they have different capacities like sizes, 32 bits, 64 bits. As you can see, you can store much larger values with doubles rather than floats, and much larger values with longs rather than integers. And if you're looking for a very big number to work with, then go for long and double. And if you're working with small numbers, you can go for float and integers. Don't be confused by them. We're going to do a lot of examples during the lectures, okay? I'm just showing you this as an example so that you won't get confused about integers or floats or longs or doubles. These are just numbers, and we have different number types, that's all. So let's, for example, try to do something like this. Let's create a long and call this my long with camel case, of course, and I'm going to give 10 as a value. Of course, you can print this out, you can do whatever you may want to do with it, like dividing it by 5, and you will still get 2 as a result over here. It won't change the outcome of the situation. Of course, we can do this with float as well, like 10.0, but in case you get an error like this over here, it means that I'm looking for a float, but you gave me double. So you have to be as explicit as possible over here, which is why they invented something like this. If you put f at the end of the value, it means that it's a float. If you don't put it, it's a double, okay? So now Android Studio actually understand this is a double. So we're not going to spend so much time over here. All you have to understand, these are just numbers and there are several types in Java. Let's continue within the next lecture.